See, Brandon, I could start the episode, but it would cost you 4 doubloons.
See, this is going to be a really good opening in like 2 weeks when the doubloon thing isn't funny anymore.
It's supposed to be funny.
Currently there's a war because the doubloon communists are rising up. I don't know if you've seen that.
I'm not on TikTok enough. Every time I see I thought the doubloon thing was funny. It's like the Backrooms thing where the Backrooms was like a cool little 4chan post. And then all the fucking TikTok people were like, actually, there's levels to the back room and there's all these different spooky monsters. And it's like, you missed the point. The whole point was it's just like hundreds of millions of square miles of just a fucking blank office space. And you had to go make it fucking, I don't know, your little ADHD TikTok subway surfer's brain had to go like, there's monsters at different levels of the back room. You missed the point.
I don't like the monsters, but I like the idea of like different levels of the backrooms.
I don't. That misses the point of the backrooms.
Because like the backrooms work with like just you know, we have a guest on today.
I was about to say, like, we gotta fucking open the episode up. Welcome to Mom Said It's My Turn on the podcast. This is the
12th
episode. I don't actually know what the number is. We're supposed to be walking to Fat Shack next. It's timeline placement for you Momscast lore heads. We're joined by our friend Addy. We have another woman on the podcast.
Yeah, my address is...
My name is Walter Hartwell White.
What is it?
I live on whatever it is, Negra Arroyo Lane.
You bleep that out.
Oh yeah, I'll just bleep this whole bit out.
Yeah. Wait, no, yeah, I'll just be like, yeah, my address is, and then I'll just start talking. Like, just bleep this section out right now.
It's not really good if you say Negra with no subtitles on.
That's the Breaking Bad.
Yes.
Breaking Bad.
Some people don't watch Breaking Bad.
Walter Hartwell White. I live on.
Some people don't watch Breaking Bad.
Okay, and
say it again.
Negra Arroyo Lane.
Say it again.
Negra.
See, you are not really good at differentiating your O's from your A's in Spanish. So ask your legal advisor. Anyway, so as I was saying,
Bro called Saul.
Yeah, as I was saying.
I'm cutting this bit. All right. We're joined by a guest today. We're joined by
Starcraft.
That's not her name. Please introduce yourself, guest.
What am I supposed to say?
Say your name.
Oh, my name's Addy.
What do you do?
Unfortunately.
We have another woman on the podcast. It's a huge,
what's the count
huge
now?
dub for Momscast.
It says 2 to 1,
woman with
right?
air quotes. Make sure you say woman with air quotes.
This is... Yeah, we've had 2 women on the podcast to 1 male guest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looks good. We just need our them representation.
No. Technically, we haven't had our second female guest
No,
yet.
This is 2.
We haven't aired that episode.
We have a third one. This is 2.
Who is number... Yeah.
P-Money.
Oh, yeah. 2 to 1. 2
Addy.
to 1. Yeah.
Short for Adderall.
It is. It actually is.
It was.
Anyways.
And then, yeah. So, welcome back. I don't want to talk about doubloons. I don't really care about the doubloon economy.
I care about doubloons.
We weren't even talking about doubloons. We were talking about the back rooms.
Anyways, I like the idea that there's different back rooms. Just because, like, the whole scariness of the back room is just the liminal space aspect of it. And, like, I don't like the monster part of it. But I do like the idea that there's different liminal spaces in which you can get trapped on.
The scary aspect is that there could be a monster in it.
No, there's a monster in it. Like, in the original 4chan post, there is the monster.
Oh, no, there was just sounds in the original 4chan post. There was, like, something you could hear, but you couldn't see.
Well, yeah, but it's I think the 4chan post goes, like, whatever's here, like...
Knows you're there.
It heard you before you heard it, I think, is the way the post goes. I don't know.
I think the implication of a monster is scarier than the actual...
Like, the implication, yes, but I don't like when they, like, just straight up show the monster. I think dumb.
Like, no matter what, like, showing the monster just kind of, like...
ruins it.
Makes it not scary. Like, okay, so I think my best comparison is like the original Alien. They don't show the monster a lot. They don't show the xenomorph. Can you like just sit still?
It didn't even. I don't have my P-Money sponsored fidget on me today.
About to make a Evangelion reference. But yeah, like in the original Alien, they don't show the xenomorph a lot, and even then, if you were rewatching it on like a VHS tape. Like, the way the CRT works, even when you can see the xenomorph, you can't because of how the CRT, like, distorts the image. So, like, it's pretty epic. And then it's like, I think it was called Prometheus, which was, like, the newest Alien movie. That movie sucked. And you just, like, they show the xenomorph in broad daylight. And I'm like, this sucks. This blows. not spooky.
I think the whole thing with the backrooms though is that people just like SCP-ified it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like the backrooms was not supposed to be like this SCP level thing, and like again, these TikTok Subway Surfer fucking idiot Zoomers were like, there's different levels of the backrooms. What is it? It's like a never-ending library.
I think
one of
that's,
them's like
that's
a big
I think that's
pool.
where we differ because I do like the SCP and maybe because it was SCP-ified, it just like the different levels just like became better.
I like
from it.
SCP, but I like backrooms separate, like just normal backrooms separately, because it's not like, oh, in level 300, the guy comes around the corner, he kisses you on the lips. You know what I mean?
No, but like I don't like that, but I like the other level is just like at like a always Twilight cool infinite cul-de-sac. Like it's still empty. It still have like all the aspects that made like the OG Backrooms cool, but it's just like a different flavor.
The OG Backrooms was cool because it's just like, it's just office space, and just office space is like the scary thing to me. It gets less scary the more you try to like SCP-ify it and explain it.
No, because you missed the point. The scary thing about the backrooms,
I think you missed the
it's
point.
not the office space. It's like the liminalness of it.
Yeah, it's the
It's just-
liminalness
it's missing
of the office
everything.
space.
But,
Yeah,
I mean, like,
but like again,
and always Twilight like infinite cul-de-sac. It's still a fucking liminal space.
yeah, but it's
but
not the
that's
backrooms.
Like
That's
You
not
could
the
just,
backrooms.
That's just like
though.
Dreamcore.
That-
Dreamcore
yeah, exactly.
is like creepy on its own.
Yeah,
thing. It doesn't
and,
need
like,
to be a part of backrooms. to be-
Backrooms is just an offshoot of Dreamcore, bro.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
No.
The original one definitely wasn't.
The original one is not. The original one, like, I think you missed the point. I think you fell for the mind virus brain
I
rot.
think you
yeah,
guys
as a
missed the
classically
point.
trained Tumblrina,
Like-
Dreamcore was so like Dreamcore was just something that was supposed to make you feel weird, you know?
Yeah, like, I think you missed the point. Like, again, the backrooms, the scary part of the backrooms is that it's this never-ending room. It is one room. That's why it's called the backrooms.
It's the never-ending liminal space. It was never about the room.
It kind of was, though. I feel like if you
No,
posted any of these different levels of the backrooms as the original backrooms picture, it wouldn't have popped up. No one would have gave a shit. The
No.
original backrooms picture is so effective because it's just like a creepy office space that never fucking ends, and your brain can't comprehend
it's
that it
the
never
liminalness
ends.
of it. It's the idea that you like probably have seen this room in some place, but it was still like a fucking infinite place of it. It was not a loop.
Yeah, but like again, when you try to be like, there's different levels, and one of these levels is like a never-ending Twilight cul-de-sac. It's like that's not like, it's not as scary
I
as
would
just like.
disagree with Victor.
I disagree with Victor heavily on this
because like the whole thing with the backrooms, so that image of the office space I don't think was like very popular as a liminal space image, but like the cul-de-sac you're talking about was, you know what I mean? But that's just like its own separate thing. The whole thing about the backrooms is like, you don't know how you got there. You don't know if there's food or water. There's like some sort of monster. You're not supposed to be there, you know?
and it never ends.
And it
That's
never
the whole
ends.
thing.
All of what you said can be applied to any other liminal space.
Yes, but I wouldn't mind being stuck in a never-ending Twilight cul-de-sac or like one of those pool rooms. I wouldn't care about
the
those.
pool rooms suck, but any other liminal space absolutely works.
No, the backrooms should have stayed just the one picture, because again, when you try to be like on this level, it's like never-ending like night.
I don't look
snowstorm at night. It's like, okay, but I wouldn't actually mind that. That's like a liminal space I would actually kind of enjoy being in.
That's
like when we walked around the Warner building, that was fucking creepy. Like that's backrooms-esque. But again, that ties into like, it's the same office core vibe.
Then there was the guy who
it's
spawned in
it's the
there.
whole thing
Yeah.
that different kind of liminal spaces affect different people in different ways. Maybe some people don't find the fucking yellow carpet and fluorescent lights as like scary or unsettling as you do, but other people might actually just same thing, same feeling, like it's evoked by a different kind of space. That's why the different levels are great. They work. I don't like the idea that you can like switch between levels. I just like the idea that there's just different backrooms you can fall into.
I don't like the
You fell for the mind
multiple
virus.
backrooms. You fell for the mind virus.
You're a part
you
of
fell
the hive
for
mind
yeah,
now.
you fell for
I
the
am
mind virus.
based. You guys are cringe.
I'm gonna draw you as the ugly one and me
I
as the
will draw
handsome
you
one.
as the soy jack and Addy and I as the
The
Chads.
Chads, yeah. No, you actually you took the mind virus pill. I hope
Yeah.
you know that.
You were given the choice of the blue pill or the red pill, and you chose the mind virus pill.
Anyways,
I am based and red pilled.
I still say like
Red Album by Weezer pilled.
your problem with the balloons and how it was supposed to be a simple thing, blah blah blah. nothing stays as simple things.
Yeah, but
Okay.
something should
Well,
stay
here's the-
simple.
like-
Like the doubloons thing should have just stayed like, oh, it's a little goofy cat who he gives you 4 doubloons,
Yeah.
or
No,
he charges
no,
you 4
no,
doubloons.
'cause, like-
there doesn't need to be a fucking economy. There doesn't need to be a fucking doubloon recession.
So
This is the thing. You've not been on TikTok for as long enough as I have. I know how this stuff works.
I'm immune from the mind virus.
he has the vaccine. Dr. Fauci gave it to him.
No, I was the one who spread the virus. Like you weren't like there for that third furry gamer war.
Well,
I was actually. That's
so-
when I started using TikTok.
That was like no, that was straight up. You started TikTok when you were out here.
Yeah, but I was like still aware of them because they were getting posted to Instagram enough that I was still like seeing them. This was before Instagram started just banning all the meme pages / not promoting them like at all.
So I'm a big fan of cryptids, right? And like, there's a board on 4chan called X where
Oh, I
it
love
used,
scrolling on X. Oh, I love
it
scrolling
used
on
to
X.
have like really good content on it. You know, like really scary stories, like folklore from areas that like
Yeah.
you aren't from.
I
because other
love
people,
watching
right?
audiobooks, but it's just X posts on
But,
YouTube.
like,
It's
here's thing.
it's just schizo threads now.
Yeah,
It's just
here's
schizo
what X
posts.
turned into: how to summon a succubus in your microwave.
Yes,
or some
yes.
shit,
Oh,
you
fuck.
know?
I've wanted to talk about the succubus bit for so
It-
fucking
dude.
long on the podcast. Oh my god. So me and my buddy Matt back home, we were just like chilling on Discord the one day, and we were like, let's scroll through X. And so we find the succubus thread. It was the
Succubus
it was the
thread.
8th
Brandon-
succubus thread. Let me
Brandon and Addy outed as a fucking fortune.
you can we can talk
X
about
is
this later.
different.
We
X
can
is
talk about this
different,
later. So my buddy Matt and I were like, what the fuck are these people talking about? Because like again, we're used to the schizo post. We found one like people claiming the Large Hadron Collider was like a universe resetter and
Yeah,
trying
it
to
is.
survive the loop
It
so
was.
that they could buy Bitcoin on the next loop around. So anyways, we start going through the thread and eventually we find the instructions on how to summon a succubus or an incubus. So what you do is you write a letter in your own blood. And then you have to burn it. But it has to start with like Dear Lilith or whatever. And then like while you're writing it, after you burn it, you should feel like your dick's getting sucked. It should just feel like that. And eventually, that's how you know the succubus has been like summoned. And you're supposed to say thank you
I
when
feel-
you start feeling a little action down there. And then you're supposed to say thank you whenever like, so it's literally like these guys just getting like boners or like having wet dreams that they're like, my succubus did this. It's like, no, you're just being fucking weird.
This might be cancelable, but I feel like that and witch talk are on like two sides of the same
Yes.
coin. However,
I don't want to touch the
Absolutely.
witch talk discussion. I used to go out with a person who claimed to be a witch, and
I'm gonna hex you.
oh my god! So they took my brother and I to this like it's called Strange and Unusual in Kingston, Pennsylvania. It's just like this weird little shop. It's this weird little like gimmicky shop, and so it sells like the witchcraft stuff. It sells like the crystal stuff. It sells all that shit. And my brother and I thought it was fucking funny. Like I was like a 14-year-old at this point. My brother's 12. We're just like, this is fucking funny. Like,
This is
oh, the
goofy,
crystal,
yeah.
the crystal, they influence my vibe. And like, they were like, you guys think this is funny? They were like, you think this is funny? And I was like, well, a little bit. Like, do you not? Like, they were like, no, I think this is serious. I'm trying to become a witch. And I was like,
I had this one.
oh.
I had this one like friend that considers himself like pagan, and I was like,
does he consider himself a warlock?
I was like, okay, dude. So I have the opportunity to buy this was before I had like a steady on relationship. I just was like talking to a bunch of people, and I was like, I have the opportunity to buy a rose quartz necklace right now. Is this gonna give me a lot of sloppy toppy? And he goes like, that's not how they work. You have to charge them with your energy and believe in it. And I was like, so am I getting bitches with this or
So
not?
can I charge it with the
what I'm
energy of
getting
getting-
is that Victor made a contract with the sloppy blowjob devil.
I think with X though, like
Yeah, I have a
think
real life Kobeni like on my room at all times.
X is so funny. My favorite schizo thread I've seen on X was like the one about how gifted kids, like the gifted program was to like get parents to put their super intelligent children into it to get pasteurized or some shit. It was
I was a gifted
I was a
child.
gifted
I
child.
can tell you that this is correct.
this is real.
I
yeah.
can tell you that
Actually,
they are
the
correct.
brainwash.
I'm not supposed to be telling you
No.
this. If you're listening to this right now, I'm sorry. You're on a list now. I don't make the rules. The FBI knows. the FBI knows you're not part of the woke mob if you listen to Momscast.
Did you know that they like?
No, that's,
do you
I have a
remember
different. I have a different conspiracy theory for the program, but I'll say that later.
Do you remember the telekinetic gifted kid? You remember that portion of the gifted program where they tried to teach us like telekinesis?
Okay, so I think it was like kind of cool of like the government propaganda to be like, hey, in Stranger Things, like we're gonna show you exactly how they do that. We're gonna make it like look like a sci-fi thing. So like when we actually reveal that MK Ultra worked, you're like, oh, it's like Stranger Things,
Yeah,
and you do
really
like the
cool.
soy jack
Yeah.
point. You do like the soy jack
know-
point, and you're like,
know who-
Stranger Things. I was like that Stranger Things.
Do you know who
Like-
was an MK Ultra participant?
Ted Kaczynski.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We are not talking about this.
They had.
I'd like to not get banned off Spotify.
Yeah, they had the showrunners from Stranger Things go to the gifted programs
Yeah.
in America to like.
Well, they had to do like the field research. So like I remember like they had me doing the thing where I had to like. Mine was kind of weird. Instead of having me crush like a soda can, they had me like sit in a room blindfolded. They made me like peer into like a bar and like lift up a drunk guy's arm and start like a bar fight. That was my task.
Mine was weird. They had me like light plants on fire and stuff. Like there was no like lighters in the room, and they had my hands bound, and I was just sitting there. And they're like, "Okay, light it on fire."
Did they make you make napalm with your mind
Oh
too?
yeah, no. Did they
No.
have the mandatory like chlorine gas section for you as well?
I think so. No, I think
in
we
my
skipped
in
that
my
one.
third world country, they would just like make me spy on foreign technology so we can actually use it. That's how we got high speed internet in my country.
Cuban Missile Crisis. Sorry.
Cuban Missile Crisis.
We're only talking about like half of it, because the other half is just like they make you feel superior. So like the fucking working class cannot like rally around an intelligent person to topple down the
Yes.
to topple down the elites. So they make you feel like you're better than everyone else
So-
around you, and that way they just keep the working class docile.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna be real. I feel like they just funneled the autistic kids into the gifted program.
the other half of my gifted experience was just they had us reading a grade level above where we should have been, and also doing math a grade level above where we should have been, and that was the other half.
My
aside from the
unironic-
cool mind control stuff.
My unironic gifted kid experience was I had to take a test every Saturday, so my whole fucking Saturday was gone.
Oh, what the fuck?
It was a 4-hour test, and I remember.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
You taking the SAT every week?
No, they literally did, and I got like a 94 on it once, and they're like, "You need to get a 95 next time," and they
What
were
the
so
fuck?
pissed.
I never
okay.
had to do that.
My
This might have
unironic
just
one
been military-based
was that,
school, but-
my
Yeah,
unironic
that's
one
probably
was
it.
that because I'm from a third world country, we didn't have like a proper gifted kid program. So what I would do instead, my gifted kid program was my teachers letting me sleep through class because they knew if they woke me up, I could still answer the questions.
Yeah.
That was my gifted kid program.
So all the gifted program did for me was, okay, so I don't have gifted kid burnout. I just have a really, really, really bad work ethic for school.
No motivation.
I just have, yeah, exactly. I have no, so okay. So I've not had
Same.
gifted kid burnout where it was like, I was like, okay, I don't want to brag. I had to talk to my therapist about it. I talked to my therapist a lot about this. I don't like saying I'm smart, but I'm smart. Like
Yes,
I can just kind of snooze through my college classes and maintain like a low, like a low
Yes.
A, high B. And like, not, it's also, I have an easy major, but
Not
also
really.
just like,
For me on this.
I have the, like, just brain power. I don't need to study. Like, I can just kind of snooze through my college classes. And it's like, I know people that were in the gifted program with me, and like, some of them dropped out of high school, some of them like just didn't go to college, like
Like
whole spectrum.
the thing with me is that I just didn't develop like studying habits. So if there's like a higher than 20% grade on anything that's like homework kind of assignments, I will fail the class.
Yeah.
So I think
It just happens because like I don't have like the motivation to just like cram and get an A on a test, but then I also like don't have the studying habits to just do homework. So then
Yeah.
it just crashes
No,
and
I
burns.
get you.
I don't-
That's my experience.
I don't consider myself a gifted kid. I think I got put into the program because I'm like super autistic, honestly. But I don't have like the burnout. I just like struggle with procrastination and motivation. Where like in my previous years, I was able to just like cruise through like high school
Yeah.
and earlier college. And now that I'm in harder level classes, I just don't have the motivation to like do it.
That's what happens.
And
Like,
study.
Yeah.
like everyone's
get
like
that.
at smart to a different level, but then you hit a block where you can't just like cruise just with your smarts and sitting through class, and that's when you like lose all motivation to do shit. Because I was
That's because you
watching-
never developed the skills to actually like learn and actually overcome the
yeah,
wall.
Not only that, but I was watching this like really good video by was this one guy that talks about like mental health for gamers.
Mental health for gamers.
No, I know
Like,
who you're
the
talking
actual
about.
PhD Harvard
Yeah,
guy.
I know who you're talking about. I
Is
just
this
don't.
real?
I don't remember. Yeah,
This
it's
is
like a
not
real.
a bit.
This is like an unironic. This isn't unironic.
He's like really
thing.
good. You should
He's
watch
like
him.
an actual like he's actual like a doctor.
Does he watch
It's
like?
called like gamer mental health or something.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
actually.
The thing is that he's a streamer, so he makes a lot of content with like other
Yeah, he like people like text messages in or they like send stuff and then he'll like read it and he'll like talk about
I
it.
need this guy to diagnose
So,
me.
so
Holy shit.
what he has this like really like great video about why gifted kids or people in the gifted program just like burn out or hit a wall, and it's mostly because people around us and ourselves set such high expectations for us, but what we fail to account is that we may be able to achieve those, but they will take time compared to like what the people around us are doing. So he'd compare it to like normal kids just like building a shack or a hut, and gifted kids trying to build a mansion. Like you can still build it, but it'll take you like a longer time, and then when you're just like done with that foundation, you look around to your peers.
And everyone has the shack done.
Everyone have the shack, and you don't even have a ceiling.
Yeah.
You have a foundation, and then that's why you get discouraged. Which I was like, based.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I just kind of took the approach of I'm gonna just do my thing and I'll get there when I get there. It is what it is, baby.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
It's like I know like people I went to high school with. Some of them are engaged now. Some of them are in jail. You know, everybody's doing their own thing at their own pace.
Some have kids.
My high school
Yeah,
class.
That's so
scary.
weird.
That's-
My
Yeah.
high school class was pretty like uneventful, except for like we have like a karate world champion,
Yeah.
and that's about it. Because like most of them stayed like in Panama and went to like Panama schools, which is like fine.
Yeah.
Like no one's
If you're a
expecting you-
loser.
If you're a nerd,
which,
yeah.
no one's expecting you to like go abroad, and if you want to stay in Panama, which was the thing that I didn't want to do. If you want to stay in Panama, like why not go to college in Panama? Makes no sense.
Yeah.
And then some people, like a few people, went out to the U.S. to pursue like pro sports aspirations, and for like most of them, it's not going really well. Because I think we pretty talked about it.
We talked about it a couple weeks ago with the JUCO stuff.
Yeah, they're like not even in like
Not like even in transfer JUCOs.
they're not in transfer JUCOs. They're just in some bum ass
Yeah.
nowhere like JUCOs.
D3, yeah.
Not even D3, just bum
Just
out.
JUCOs.
Bum out nowhere
no,
JUCOs, like hoping to like get D1 for like senior and junior.
That's so
Um,
interesting.
And then there's some guys that are actually doing
It
pretty good.
sounded so condescending.
I'm not like trying to be a bitch. That's actually interesting because I feel like most people from my high school class, they are not in college.
Yeah.
I feel like 90% of, well, I mean, it was also during COVID and all, so it kind of
Yeah.
makes sense. But most of the people I was supposed to
We
graduate
are
with,
the
like,
COVID class.
Yes.
yeah, unfortunately.
Like you guys got the COVID thing, like smack dab in the middle of it.
We
I
got
got it.
fucked.
I
Holy
got it like
shit.
right after I graduated.
Well, we got fucked too because that was supposed to be our freshman year.
So my COVID hit towards the end of my senior year of high school, and then we had full COVID stuff for my full freshman year, and then half of my sophomore year of college.
Same. So that's,
Same,
yeah,
same.
Yeah.
full freshman
But no,
year.
COVID hit like after I
Well, yeah, because you didn't have
Yeah,
to do
exact-
like your what would have been your senior year.
yeah,
year.
I didn't have to do my senior year. I also also Panama schools graduated in December,
Yeah.
and so I had my prom, I had everything, but then like
Jealous.
COVID just like
Honestly,
smacked dab
I'm
in the
not.
middle
So
of it.
personally, for me at least, I didn't really care that much about not getting my senior prom because I went to prom I went to prom all 3 years of high school, and then they organized a prom for us during COVID.
See,
so I wasn't too mad about
in
it.
Panama it's different because we don't have like prom is not a school thing.
Yeah.
Prom is like a class thing.
Ah,
Because
okay.
the school doesn't fund prom. Like the class gets permission from the school to fundraise, and then we have dues, and that's what pays for prom.
Okay.
And then so you only ever go to another class's prom if you're like
If you're invited.
really good friends with someone that's on prom, and they decide to like give you their extra, because everybody gets an extra ticket, and they
Yeah.
decide to give you their extra ticket because like they're they're going with someone, they're dating someone from the class,
Yeah.
or they're going with you, or B, like you're dating someone from the up class.
Yeah, that's how I got into prom. Like freshmen and sophomores couldn't go to prom, but I was going out with someone older than me, so I got to go to prom those
So
years.
I never went to prom in a year because like I'm cringe. And I thought it was like too expensive, so I didn't want to put in the effort. But what I'm am upset that I missed out on was our robotics competition. Got canceled.
Nerd.
I put a lot of effort into that fucking robot.
So I wanted to. So this thing, me and my cousin, we were like both in the same class. And the thing is that me and my cousin are in this like same age, same like high school class, and my sister and my cousin's brother, like same deal, right? Same age, same high school class. Me and my cousin, we wanted to sell our prom tickets to our friend, like our classmen friends.
Yeah.
Because like you could sell those for like a good $80.
$80? What the fuck, bro? My prom tickets were like $40.
Ours were
Because we paid
25, I think?
dues for them.
Yeah.
So like we paid dues for them, and then there's also not that many going around, and you get an extra one for free. And so me and my friend were like, me and my cousin were like, yeah, we want to sell them. But what my mom and my aunt made us do was gift them to our siblings.
Oh no.
Which in retrospect,
No.
in like what they,
I mean, yeah, it's nice.
we
but,
didn't
like,
we didn't have to
whatever.
interact with them at all.
Yeah.
In retrospect, Giga Chat move from my mom and my aunt, because now my cousin and my sister had their like prom experience.
Yeah.
Quotations.
Oh yeah, because your sister wouldn't have had a prom. Yeah.
Because my sister and my
Yeah.
cousin, they didn't get their prom because COVID.
Yeah.
But me and my cousin were like, nah, we
Yeah.
want our $80, bro.
Prom is so weird in America. When I was working at Hooters an unspecified year, a prom group came in, and it just still doesn't make any sense to me. Like my table was a prom table. Why would you take your prom dates to Hooters?
It's funny.
Yeah, it's funny. We went to
If you're going-
Hooters
if you're going
last
as
year.
friends-
Yeah, we went to Hooters last year for a bit. Like going to Hooters is a bit for us.
That is so funny.
Bro, I had a bunch of I had a big, like, not my main friend group, but we had this like big friend group with sub cliques on it.
Yeah.
And so most of the girls, I was like very good friends with them, and they were like all dating people. But I like had this bit of calling them mi amor, and they would like turn around, see it was me, and go fuck. Like
Yeah.
they would get
Riz
pissed.
list.
Yeah.
They
the
would
Riz,
get
the Rizzler.
they would get pissed that
Yeah.
that I was just like that, and then also like, I'm taking you guys to prom, and we're going to fucking Wendy's for, cause like, you know, you gotta get your prom meal. I was like, yeah, I'm taking you all to Wendy's before prom, and they were like, that's not gonna happen. And I was like,
That's
and
what you
and
say.
Wait.
So all of their boyfriends took really long to ask them for prom.
Okay.
So I just kept going like. I like end of the year, I was just like, I would go like, so you guys want to go to Wendy's? And every day that passed, they were like,
My boy the Rizzler.
Oh my! I have so many bad prom stories
God.
of
You
like
didn't go
tables
to-
I have
okay.
of tables I had when I was working as a waitress. I had this one table come in. This was not at Hooters. This was at a different restaurant. It was a dad, his daughter, and his daughter's prom date.
I don't get the taking your kid to Hooters thing. I don't.
This wasn't at Hooters. This was somewhere else.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that was still weird to me. We'll
Yeah.
get into that in a second. But
It's-
anyways, I had a cup of drinks for them. The daughter had her hair, makeup, her prom dress on. The dad, I had the tray, right, and it had 4 like drinks. It had
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the dad's alcohol, his water, the daughter's Diet Coke, and the
Yeah.
son's like I think he had a tea or something. The dad grabbed one of the drinks off the tray, and if you've ever been a waiter before, like they balance.
Yeah,
certain.
it's balanced,
Yeah, you have
yeah.
to take them off in a certain order. You have to put the tray down.
Oh no.
And the entire tray went onto the daughter.
Oh my god.
And she
Oh,
instantly,
my God.
like, her hair was big and, like, done and all these
Oh,
curls.
no.
She was
Oh,
soaked.
oh no.
And the dad tried to blame it on me. And I'm like, dude, you took the drink off the tray.
Yeah.
This wasn't my fault, you know?
Yeah, no,
And she was in tears.
shit.
She was screaming at her dad. And her boyfriend was just sitting there like he did not know what to do.
I mean, like, yeah,
what are you supposed to do?
Yeah,
there?
and
Am I
he had
supposed
a
to, like, go
big-ass
beat the shit
beard,
out of the
too.
dad?
Listen, like the taking your kid to Hooters, like in Panama where there's not as many like sport bars that aren't actual bars. If like my dad or someone else's dad is stuck with you for the day, and there's like a game going on, you're going to their Fridays for Hooters.
They have Hooters in Panama?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that. I knew the weirdest location I think they have a Hooters is China.
Yeah, so like Hooters in Panama is more of like a sports bar than a Hooters.
Did they
Like,
have Hooters girls?
Yeah, but the
Okay.
Hooters, like the Hooters element to it, it's like very much like not toned down. Like it's still there, but it's not like as noticeable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not as big as
I mean-
or the Hooters girls that I saw whenever I went to Hooters were never really my type. It's either one of those two, because it might as well be that they were just not my type, and so I wouldn't pay attention to them.
Victor likes white girls confirmed.
I do.
Victor does like
He has
white.
the white woman fever.
Victor likes the white. Dude, it's White Woman Wednesday.
Yeah, I do.
That
Like
just look how bad that just
That
peaked.
awful,
Oh my
yeah.
god.
I do enjoy like the
I do enjoy the occasional white
White
woman.
woman.
you know what, like I'm not gonna lie, I have love for all the women out there, you know the white women,
Especially them white women.
All
the white women, the
fever.
Hispanic women, the Asian women, you
Especially them white women.
especially them white women.
So-
just look at Natalie, like she says she's Hispanic, but have you seen how she talks? That's a white woman.
Valley girl. I love her accent. It's
Valley
good.
girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nat does have a valley.
She has
Nat
she
does
has a
have-
Valley
she does
girl
have-
accent and she has the vocal fry, but it's a
Yeah,
really
she-
nice,
yeah.
honestly. I like hers.
She does have a valley. I've
I
just now noticed
love
that,
my
yeah.
girlfriend, and I would do anything for her.
My prom story is that my junior year of high school, I ended up going to prom with a girl who already had a date. Thank you for. I'm trying to tell my story here. Thank you. Yeah, I ended up going with a girl who already had a date, and I just ended up cucking the dude out of a date.
Cuck master.
I was the cuck master, and so like it was my ex, but like so we weren't going out at the time. We were kind of like talking, and she kept going to me. She was like, Are you going to prom?" And I was like, "I don't think I'm going," because we weren't like going out. And I was like, "I don't think I'm gonna go." And then she was like, "Oh, you should go to prom. It'll be really funny." I was like, I mean, I guess. And then so we started going out the day or two after they stopped selling prom tickets. So I didn't have a prom ticket, and she was already going with another guy already. And I was like, well, shit, what am I supposed to do? So I ended up like just kind of like begging to the teacher who was in charge of like setting prom stuff up. I was like, "Please let me go to prom, please, I gotta go. So I ended up going. So she has prom pictures, like her pictures from prom that year are with another guy that I ended up cucking out of like,
Did she still post them?
what?
Did she still post them?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
that's
I'm
so
like the
funny.
first one, and then the guy she was going with is like the last
It
one.
looks like you transmutated
I
into him.
I did a really bad thing.
I can show you guys when we go on. I'll show you when we go on the mid roll. Because it's just kind of funny. But like the guy she ended up going out with, the guy she ended up going to, was supposed to go to prom with. He was like huge incel. Came out like a couple years later. Huge incel. It was bad. It was bad. That's what I'll leave it at.
I
It was
did
bad.
a really bad thing. So I went to prom with a friend.
Yeah.
And she was dating someone, and I was like, I genuinely don't care, because it wasn't like that, Brandon. It was just like,
Yeah.
I'm not seeing anyone right now, and I kind of like we both had this idea like, it's better to take your prom pictures with someone that you're not dating, because like if like that relationship goes like sideways.
Well, that's the funny part. So then you can look back on it.
Yeah, no, but like then you have a nice memory instead of like a funny haha memory.
Gross.
You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
basically
you.
what happened is that, I went to hang out with my friends and so talk to some other people. Like what I accidentally did was I kind of cucked out one of my friends from like hanging out or like, doing anything with the girl she brought. Because like the thing is that girl, she was a friend of ours. And I didn't know at the time that he liked her. So, and we kind of like, made out, did like a bunch of
I thought you were going as friends.
no with my
Okay.
I made out with a friend that my other friend brought, but I didn't know that he liked her. So
Okay, so you cucked your friend.
I accidentally cucked my friend, because like we ended up hanging out all that night, and we did the whole thing. The thing is, like, to this day he blames her for that. He never blamed me.
I like that you're exposing yourself too.
He made a whole like long ass. It was like 10 Instagram stories
Oh my god. Oh my god.
about
10
like,
Instagram
like
stories.
a while after, during COVID, he had like a breakout or something, and he did like the 10 Instagram stories, and he was like, no, yeah, because that's really messed up of you. 'Cause, like, I did so much stuff.
Bro think
He
he's
tried to cancel her.
Yeah, bro think he's Stan from the Eminem hit
I
song.
did so much
Stan.
stuff. No.
Dear Mister, I'm too good to call or write my fans. This will be the
No,
last
no.
package I
'Cause,
ever
like-
send your ass. It's been 6 months.
Bro.
So what? I don't deserve it.
bro, because like the thing, a 2-hour Panama drive is very different from a 2-hour US drive. It's not that
Yeah,
distance.
you're in the fucking third world.
It's just the traffic. She was like, she lived like an hour and a half away, like Panama driving time from him. Like he did the whole proposal and stuff, because
Down fucking horrendous.
like because like proposals were expected.
Yeah, proposal is like it's expected.
It's
Really?
expected.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
expected.
The way
here.
I got asked to prom
It's
was through
expected
text.
here. Yeah, no,
Mid.
Was through text,
Cringe,
and then I responded
cringe.
with, "No, I have to work. Sorry."
based,
As you
based,
should.
astronomically
As you
based.
should, girl. If he doesn't pull out all the stops,
Astronomically based. I forget what I did. I did like
I'll pull up over the
I
mid-roll.
forget how I asked the
I'll pull
girl
up
I was
mine.
going.
Mine
No, I
proposal
don't even
over
think
the
I
mid-roll.
asked her to prom because I think it was just we
Shit.
started going out, and then it was just like, oh shit, am I supposed to go to prom now? And she was like, yeah, you are, and I was like,
Over the
oh fuck, I just remembered a story, and then we can go to mid roll after this. Fuck, okay. So I was going out. I went out with this girl in the start of my junior year of high school. Was very mean to me, and I was still just like,
Yes, dear.
yikes, man. Very nice. So I was just like, all right. So I didn't. So we did our homecoming dance in the fall, and then we had prom in the spring. So I didn't go to homecoming because I wasn't going out with her, and I started going out with this girl like a couple weeks after they stopped selling tickets. So there was no way I was going. So
You said this.
no, this is a different story. Similar story.
Again.
Similar story. So there's no way I was going. So eventually, like the girl I was going out with, and my friend and his date were like, "Hey, we're gonna go get food after this. Do you want to come with?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, I want to come with and get food. Y'all my homies. I want to come get food." My ex, different from the earlier story, texts me and she's like, "Make it dress up and make it look like you went to the dance." And I was like, "Why? I didn't go. I was just gonna wear like jeans and a flannel."
You're gonna wear your
She's
Zelda
like, "You're
t-shirt?
gonna make me look bad." And I was like, "But jeans and flannel." She's like, "Dress up or don't come." And I was like, "Yes, dear."
Yes, dear. I would
Yes,
have honestly showed up and like I would have.
I was so
done like the khaki shorts and the Zelda t-shirt.
I was so whipped. I was literally like Denji in fucking Chainsaw Man. I was just like, okay, because then like she let me touch her boobs in the car. She let me touch her boobs in the car because I got dressed up and looked like I went to the dance.
Damn, you just like me for real.
He just like me for real. He just like me. But yeah, so because of that, I am literally Denji from. I was literally Denji from Chainsaw Man because she was like, "If you get dressed up, I'll make it worth your while," and I was like, "Boing."
Yes, dear. Oh my god, this is so crazy.
Shinji, you idiot. What are you listening to?
Sorry, Asuka. I was listening to Mom Said It's My Turn on the podcast. You can find Mom Said It's My Turn on the podcast on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Momscast. And you can also find us on Spotify and other podcast platforms at Mom Said It's My Turn on the podcast. Sorry.
You're pathetic.
Welcome back to Mom
I think we
Said
can
It's
go
My
longer.
Turn on the podcast. Ah! Thanks, asshole.
So do you want like some like folklore stories or
okay.
or like internet myths? Because I'm
Let's do
well
folklore,
versed in
'cause I have
those.
some good old Panamanian folklore.
I'm actually really interested to hear
and I
about
don't think I've ever talked about it.
That's really interesting. So like a lot of my family's from the middle of fucking nowhere, Appalachia. I'm pretty sure we talked about this.
Yeah, we have.
Like southern Pennsylvania area. So I'm trying to think. I know like one big thing is like the woods are just bad. So
Yes.
my dad
Correct.
Yes.
told me when he
Correct.
was
Even I know this.
my pops when he was little, he said that he used to like get in trouble by his parents and he'd run out into the woods because they wouldn't follow him,
Oh,
which I think
no,
is
fuck
really
that.
funny.
No.
And then your pops like just loses all cognitive functions.
Yeah, he did actually. So that's interesting. So like his whole family was a bunch of hunters, right? After they immigrated, and yeah, his whole family was a bunch of hunters. So like there'd be times where this paranoia even spread onto me. We're living in an area where we don't have to worry about cryptids, quote unquote, I guess. So this paranoia spread onto me because when he would go hunting with his family, they would set up rattle traps, which basically are to keep away mountain lions and like stuff you don't know about. So it's like a bunch of fishing wire that you wrap in the whole area, and you put you put rocks in the can. So every time I went hunting with my dad, no matter where it was, he would set up these rattle traps. And he always told me they were for mountain lions until I got older. I guess he didn't want to freak me out when I was younger. But I remember one time we went camping when I was probably about 8 years old, and I was sleeping in my own tent for the first time, so it was really scary already. and then I hear the rattle trap go off, right?
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my god, it's a mountain lion, it's a mountain lion. It woke me up. That's how loud it was. And I'm like, oh my god, okay, so it's a mountain lion. That's still scary. I'm 8 years old.
Yeah.
And I can't tell my dad because he's in the other tent, right? And I hear it go off, and then it's silence, and I hear it go off again. I'm like, oh my god, it's not a mountain lion. Something's playing with it, you know? And that happened a couple times. That was the first time I ever prayed in my life. But yeah, I was really, really scared.
You're Muslim, so you were like
I was so bad about it too, being Muslim. But so yeah, the next morning I told my dad, and he's like, okay, we're gonna go home now. And I'm like, what the fuck? Another one that actually happened here is I had a couple friends who went to high school down. So this was in the Denver area. They were in a rich area, and they had a bunch of like these back area. It's called backcountry, right? And they were driving one day, and one of our friends, he texted them. He's like, "Are you guys walking around my house? Like, what is going on?" Keep in mind this area was like fenced, and then there's just a giant mountain behind it.
That.
So they're like, "You walking around my fence?" And he's like, everyone's like, "No." And he's like, "Yeah, I just heard like the loudest footsteps ever. I thought you guys were fucking around my yard."
This is why I tell Brandon not to say the words.
Well, this was something else. So they're driving around, and then they see something dart. It's like the way they described it is it was like a deer on its hind legs, and everyone and they said it looked like a naked like kangaroo that was running. And then our friend was like a fucking crackhead, so he's like, I'm gonna chase it. So they started chasing it. They were chasing it in a car, and they said it like kept speed.
First person to die in a horror movie.
Yeah, I know, right? And I honestly wouldn't have believed them if they didn't show me the video they took the whole time.
What?
Yeah,
because
they were Snapchatting because our other friend called and said, "Are you guys fucking around?" So they went to his house to see if somebody was like breaking in, and they were like recording it for Snapchat. And then like they see it run by. They never posted it because they thought people would call bullshit.
Fuck that
I've
shit.
had like
Okay, hold on. Before we get into that, I must reveal to you Pennsylvania's cryptid. It's called the Squonk.
I've heard of this.
It's called the Squonk. It looks like a fucked up pig. I don't know. It's called a Squonk. It's in Pennsylvania, supposedly.
Oh no.
This is my heritage.
So
this is my legacy.
I've realized that I might have like a level in Paladin. Because I'm not gonna lie, I've had an encounter with an actual sleep paralysis demon. Because like I'm not even joking, I actually saw this shit. So I was like in like my grandma's house that's like in the countryside. It's like a really big house. Because like every time that the child my grandma's children would like be of age and have enough money, they would just like build an annex to it. So it just like started growing big. Like it started being like a smallish house, and now you have like a bunch of annexes. So like each like family has its own annex, and it just keeps growing. So I was in one of the. It was only me and my dad, because my dad had a job. He's a civil engineer, so he had a job on like that side of the country, and it's like 3 hours drive from my house, and like only like 30 minutes drive from my grandma's house. So and my grandma was like in the city at the time, so it was just me and my dad. My dad was sleeping on one side of the house, I was sleeping on the other side of the house because it had air conditioning. So I sleep, and I wake up in the middle of the fucking night. No joke. I had one of those red alarm clocks.
Yeah,
red alarm. No joke. 3 a.m. and I just like wake up. I can't move. Like I can only move my pupils.
Oh no!
I can only move my pupils, and I just like see the shadow of something like against one of the walls.
Took too much
like
damage.
No, like I feel a pressure sitting on my chest, and then the shadow of something, and it looked like a fucking like a very small humanoid thing with like a very large head.
That's goblin.
That's the shadow.
I'm a gnome.
That's the shadow I saw.
Gnomed.
And
then so basically what happens is that I'm trying with all my like all the force I have to just like try to sit up.
Yeah.
Right? And then I start praying. And what happens is that so my fucking left hand frees up, and it's the only thing I have. So what I do is that I do the sign of the fucking cross, bro, and then after that I just fucking punch like around my chest area, like I just go like sus. And as soon as I do that punch, I just like jolt up, like all that upper body strength that I was like trying to get up, just like zooms, bro. It's like zooms up, and I'm like, oh shit. I just used Holy Fury to destroy a fucking sleep paralysis demon. And I was like, holy shit.
There you go.
And then I prayed a little bit more and went back to sleep.
So I love like creepy stories. So where I went to high school, right across the street is a cemetery, right?
Yeah.
I think I've shown you it.
Yeah, you showed me it. Yeah.
So I love just like when I was in high school, I would, because I lived right next to my high school as well, I would walk around that cemetery, and like when we had open campus for lunch, I would go walk around that cemetery. And so I just always loved like spooky stories and such. But one time we were staying in this like really old house, and we were just living there for the time being. You know, it had like wooden floors, and we had a dog at the time. I was probably in high school. We had a dog. His name was Bandit, and you know when dogs walk on like wood floors, you can hear the nails.
Yeah.
So there was one time I was trying to go to bed, and I hear like the dog walking on the wood floor.
Oh hell
And
no.
then I'm like, well, Bandit, go lay down. What are you? I'm trying to go to sleep here, dude. And I hear growling, and I'm like, oh, wait, why are you growling at me? And he's at the foot of my bed. He wasn't on the floor walking around. He was sitting on my bed the entire time. And I just hear like
It's
these.
like
I hear
it's like the people can lick too creepypasta.
yeah, no, actually.
yeah.
So I hear these nails on the bed, on the wooden floor, and I'm freaked out. So the next morning I go tell my sister, I'm like, you need to sleep in that room tonight. I'm not sleeping in there.
Yeah.
She sleeps in there. Same exact thing happened. She hears
my
the
God,
nails.
fuck that.
Oh no, bro.
And she thought it was Bandit, and Bandit was sleeping in my room.
I don't know
that
about
night.
that one.
So my mom is like really religiously schizophrenic. Like she's crazy religious, but she's just like, she has really bad schizophrenia with it. Ghosts and stuff, she actually like hears it and sees it because of her schizophrenia and how like devoutly religious she is. Think about Carrie's mom. That's kind of my mom, except for not with Christianity.
Yeah.
So we're telling our mom this, and like at first she's like trying not to believe us, you know? We're like, okay, you're sleeping in the room tonight then. We're not sleeping in the room. And she hears it, and she like flips out because of like, she's like, I'm gonna start hearing voices. So we had to like not live in that house anymore.
Bro,
Jeez.
that's fucked up.
That's fucked up.
So most of like US like folk scary stuff is just like shit that lives in the woods or in some other like
Pretty
area
much.
that you don't fucks with, right?
Pretty much. Yeah.
European folklore is just
Panama.
like, yeah.
European folk is all like, oh, the gnomes are in the forest.
Oh, little guy, he's gonna come get
No.
you.
Panama folk is very much religious. So there's the two big ones that I really like that I can remember off the top of my head. We have El Penitente de la Otra Vida, which translates to like the penitent from another life,
Yeah.
and La Tulivieja, which doesn't really have a translation.
Yeah.
So the whole story from a penitent of another life is that it's the soul of a man who's like, so back way back when, like in the 50s. There used to be this thing, like these processions. They would wear this thing. They would put on this thing called calvarios. So they're like kind of like the crosses, but it's only at the cross section, and you have to walk with them like on top of your like on your shoulders for that processions. And it will be like kind of like the Spain thing where they would will just use like whips and stuff to hit their back. They would do it like around Easter. So
yeah, that's the Christ carrying the cross.
Yeah. And so what happens is that there's this whole story that there's this one guy who is who just like appears. He's all bloodied, and he just like lags behind the whole procession, and he just appears. And that's the thing. And the whole story is that this is one guy that used to be a soldier that wrongly killed a bunch of people, and he just like every time they do that procession, he like comes back to life, and with the Calvario on, does the procession, and goes back to the cemetery and disappears.
Interesting.
That's one of them. The other one is La Tulivieja. And the whole story goes that there's this like one really young girl that, you know, got pregnant. She has her child, and she wants to go to like this dance. And her mother is like, I'm busy tonight. I can't look after it tonight. So what she does is that she leaves it like near like a hidden place. Like near like a bank of a river or something.
Yeah.
And she goes to like this party, this dance. And then when she comes back to it, it's not there. Like it depends on the story, on the region. It's either not there, like just simply not there, or the river had flooded, and it's up to the point where the baby or the child was. The whole thing is that God or some other like force strikes her down, deforms her, and she's like cursed to look for her child like for the next of eternity. And sometimes in some places in Panama you would hear someone going, mi hijo, mi. There's just someone looking for her child. And the whole story is that if you encounter her in the forest, at first she looks like a very pretty young lady, and then just transforms back. And it's very scary because sometimes like people's claim to see her is just like a white thing just going around the forest, and there's video of it. It's like super creepy. I love it. I have a book of Panama folk tales in my room. I'll just lend it to you guys if you can read Spanish. You can read Spanish, so you'll be able to read it.
I think cultural folklore is so interesting. So surprisingly enough, Witcher folklore, a lot of that is in a lot of different Slavic cultures.
Yeah, I mean, The Witcher's Polish. So,
yeah. Well, the big one is the demon. I guess if you've seen the latest season of The Witcher, is like Baba Yaga.
I did not actually. I didn't like The Witcher show enough. I thought it kind of. And the more I hear about it, the more it's just like they don't actually like the books or the games.
They just like the idea of The Witcher.
They're making it for the check. And they just like the idea of making a Witcher show, and so I don't really like it as much as the books, but I do like the books.
I think she's also in the books. I'm not entirely sure, though.
I think she is.
So,
most folklore is really original, because like La Tulivieja, as much as I would love it to be, it's not a Panama thing, it's very much a Central American thing.
Yeah. So she's like very similar to Baba Yaga, which is like the chant they have you do. I don't know the direct translation in Ukrainian, but like it's pretty accurate how you start with hut hut. So like you're a wide receiver. So another thing you can do to like quote unquote summon her is the whistle in the woods. So every time we would go like out into the woods, me and my mom, I would either I'd be like, oh hut hut, or I'd start whistling and she'd get really pissed at me.
That's pretty funny.
Which is kind of fucked now that I think about it. But.
So the one I'm not most familiar with. So I'm from East Pennsylvania, which is pretty much Jersey. So I've driven through the Pine Barrens a couple times, and so the Pine Barrens, for those who don't know, supposedly the home of the New Jersey Devil.
Oh, really?
Yeah, literally, it's just like these. I think they're black pines.
Did he get you?
Yeah, it got me.
Did he kiss you on the lips?
I've been a ghost ever since. But so I think if I'm remembering correctly, like so the 13 colonies are very heavily Protestant. And all of America is very much shaped by Protestant like ideas.
Talk about the Protestant work ethic.
Yeah. And so, depending on where you look, the Jersey Devil is either just like a monster in the woods, or it was it kind of like Rosemary's Baby, I guess. So, it's either this lady has 12 children, and after finding out she's pregnant again, curses the child, crying that the child will be the devil. Then she gives birth, and the child is a devil creature,
just like everyone else from Jersey.
Yeah, pretty much. And so that's like the most familiar version of it. That's just kind of interesting to me because you'd expect more like religious, I guess, folklore monsters in especially like the colonial areas of America, but you don't really get that. You get like the Jersey Devil's the only one I could think of that's even like slightly tied to it.
The thing is that
tied to religion.
The thing is that most American cryptids
are just things that go bump in the night.
Not only that, but most American cryptids come more from native stuff.
I don't know. I don't know about native stuff.
I would say it's probably like 50.
Well, I'd say Wendy Bros and Flesh Pedestrians.
That's native, but like that's not like. Then you get like chupacabras and stuff.
That's
like
kind of native-ish.
That's
native adjacent.
I'm pretty sure chupacabra is Puerto Rican.
Well, it might be. That's a Latin American. Like,
it's because chupacabras are just mostly in the southern U.S. region.
Yeah, like there's that
Mexico
over,
part,
Nevada,
Mexico,
southern
Texas.
United States,
I know some of the more native creatures are definitely like they're sacred, so I try not to talk about those ones.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just like a lot of that stuff. It's like when it gets used for like
horror,
spooky. It's like maybe let's not use that.
Yeah.
Because
you know what's the scariest thing?
The biggest American one, like obviously, let's get the fucking
Bigfoot.
Let's get the fucking elephant out of the room. It's fucking Bigfoot.
But Bigfoot's not scary though.
Bigfoot's not scary.
Is the Goatman Pennsylvania as well, or is that
Goatman is somewhere else. Like I know what you're talking about. Actually, it might be.
I think there's
several.
You guys have a Goatman?
I'm pretty sure Goatman is Appalachian as well.
Goatman, in Panama we have El Chivo. What does Goatman do?
Goatman is like,
this is a Jersey thing.
This is an urban legend. It's basically that he like haunts a bridge.
Maryland.
Oh, it's Maryland, really?
Close enough to Pennsylvania.
I'm pretty sure there's
Maryland.
a lot of like variations between them.
I'm sure there are too. There's probably a lot.
I don't know. Goatman freaks me out low key.
The Dover Devil is a little alien dude.
Oh yeah.
He's a little alien dude in Delaware.
What's the other like goofy little alien guys? The walkers. What are they? You know what I'm talking about though.
I don't think I do.
This.
Do you mean just like gray aliens?
No, I mean gray
Because I feel
aliens.
like that's the other big American folklore thing, even though that's more modern, like the gray aliens.
Gray aliens are
Well-
their own thing, but it's these.
Oh, Mothman too.
We have this,
Mothman,
we
of
have this
course.
one thing in there's a festival in Panama called Corpus Christi, and
Yeah.
we have this one thing called El Chivo, which generally is supposed that a guy dresses up as him and represents him, and the whole deal is like he goes for women and
The
tries to kidnap them.
the Fresno Nightcrawler is the little guy I'm talking about. Have you seen them?
I have not seen the
Oh
Fresno.
my
Night.
god! Pull it
Have
up
you
on
ever seen something like this?
No.
the Fresno Nightcrawler is a little goofy thing. I think it's one of my favorite cryptids. They're so funny. It's apparently an alien, but
Nightwalker or
Nightcrawler. Just yeah. That's what they look
Oh,
like.
those are goofy.
Yeah, there's like a video.
I'll put a
of
picture. I'll put a picture of them up on the screen. These are goofy looking
like
fellas.
this
No,
one.
take them from the actual video. They are so like
Those
funny
are goofy
looking.
little fellas.
I like this
Yeah.
one.
But yeah, so I feel like the other, like most of the American folklore stuff is just like
Don't fucks with it.
I'd say most of it's just stuff that goes bump in the night in the woods.
I would
it's-
agree.
It's like
They live in the forest, so don't fucks with it.
yeah, so it's like I'm trying to think of stuff that doesn't fall into that category. So it's like okay, so let's think of the big American ones. So you got like your Bigfoot, something that goes bump in the night.
Maybe not
There's
big.
the
Maybe
there's
not
the
big
Beast
American.
of Bray Road. That's a
But
werewolf.
there's
Yeah.
the whale, the mountain whale thing.
The mountain whale. Oh, wait, isn't that like
But then it's like you got Mothman. Mothman goes bump in the night.
Well,
No, he bumps the
there's
day.
there's the Beast of Bray Road, which is like a werewolf, but he's also
Yeah.
in the woods. I feel like most of the American
Most of the
shit is like
American
don't go in the
stuff-
woods, don't go in the woods.
I mean, yeah, but also that's just like if you think about like from when like people were settling in the
that's
woods.
from Colorado too.
What the
Yeah,
fuck?
that's from Colorado.
Yeah.
So a big thing about the woods is that like cougars, when they scream,
Yeah.
they sound like women being murdered.
Yes, like you have to cougars, bears, wolves.
Yeah.
There used to be a lot of shit in the woods that would just kind of gobble you up.
Yeah.
So it's like instead of being like, oh, there's mountain lions in the woods, why not just be like, oh, there's a little fucking
There's a little guy in the woods. He's
there's
gonna get you.
there's a little man eater in the woods.
No, so the slide rug bolter. It's a Colorado thing, and it's just a big whale that has a claw tail that's like grabs to the peak of a mountain, and then it just slides down and gobbles up everything.
He's so baby
Yeah.
girl. I love that.
A lot of the I'm trying to think of the other one. I think it's weird that every continent has a Bigfoot variant.
I think that's interesting
Which
too.
is what-
Because they're real. They're
I mean,
real.
yeah, we know that, but like we can't be saying that, you know.
the CIA is
The
gonna get
government
you.
already told us to watch it after we talked about the MK Ultra shit during the break.
Talking about the government.
Oh
Okay.
my God, no!
You're gonna have to
We're-
cut
Stop!
this.
Stop! We're gonna let you bring back parking lot. Parking lot.
no.
Put it on your nose. Put it on your nose. Hold the thought on your nose. Okay, so with the Bigfoot stuff, every continent has a Bigfoot variant, pretty much, which makes me think, interesting, because it's like okay, so you have like 3 of them in the United States alone. So you got your Bigfoots, and then you have a Sasquatch is just Bigfoot.
There's like a little cousin one to
different
it.
things.
There's skunk apes in
Yeah,
Florida.
skunk
Skunk
apes,
apes
yeah.
in Florida. And then, so in the Himalayas, you get your Yetis. I forget what they're called, but there's an Australian one that I remember reading about.
Knowing Australia, that thing probably exists.
Yeah, exactly.
What I think is interesting too, the Bigfoot. There's also like vampires on every continent.
Interesting.
Or like vampire
Like
lore.
something that sucks the fucking blood out of shit.
Yeah, I mean,
Exactly.
yeah, you get
I mean, that kinda
chupacabras,
makes sense, but it-
Vampires in Europe.
Yeah, it also. Well, I mean, like even Asia has a lot of vampire
Europa.
stories,
Yeah.
and so does like Eastern Europe.
Talking about the U.S. and stuff that they're trying to hide, you think it's a coincidence that the U.S. park system it's like hoarding all of the cave tunnels in the U.S.?
Well, I don't know.
know,
they,
man.
they got the cheese.
Dude,
like,
I could
something.
care less about caves. I don't fuck with cave systems.
I
or
don't
tunneling.
either. I don't know.
I don't fuck
I'm
with
like
caves.
really claustrophobic.
Yeah,
I
like,
don't know.
I don't
why
think, like
anyone-
the story about the guy who got stuck. Like the stories about people who get
Nutty
stuck
Putty
in
Cave?
cave. Nutty Putty Cave. Fuck that shit. No. I'm not doing it.
No,
I don't want to.
no.
I don't want to think about that.
I just think it's really funny because if you look at a map of like U.S.
I mean, most of the caves in the United States are on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like U.S. like U.S. like cave systems, and then you look at a map of national parks, it's like almost the same thing.
Well, I feel like most of the areas above caves typically don't have a lot of people in them. To be fair, so like in the national park, what I think another interesting like
The whole idea, there's a conspiracy theory around this, which is that there's something going on
the national parks.
There's a lot going
national
on in
parks,
national parks,
like
yeah.
specifically like the cave systems, and like Teddy Roosevelt knew about it and tried to hide it. That's why he created the national
that's why
park
the
system.
Yeah, well, that's like right around when they have that first Bigfoot video. That's when the park system gets set up.
oh really? That's funny.
Yeah.
Wasn't that confirmed to be fake though? That video.
It's still heavily disputed.
Interesting.
But yeah.
Like a national park kind of cryptid thing I think is really interesting. I feel like this is more of an internet cryptid, is the stairways to nothing that you're not supposed to climb.
Yes,
love
I have
those.
seen, I've seen about those. Yeah, I have seen about those. I think it's just interesting. This is like me putting on my tinfoil hat. So put on your tinfoil hat if you want to not get fucking schizo posted on for a little bit. We have a literal video. I forget what organization it is. It's literally like we have a video of like a surveillance footage from this like headquarters of a company. They're literally doing a fucking ritual. Like they literally are dancing around a burning fucking idol. And the company was just like, we don't know who those people are. They were just kind of
They're doing it for fun.
They're just doing it for funsies. And it's like, we literally saw you doing a fucking ritual. Like, I don't know. I'm not like, I don't think I'm superstitious. I think I'm a little stitious though.
I'm
like,
slightly
I don't know. I
stitious.
see people dancing around a burning idol. I'm just like,
Where
where are those 10 commandments when you need them?
there's this wanderlust in me that like prays and hopes that this world isn't as boring as everyone claims it is. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I would really love for like magic and some cryptids to just come out as being real, because like me would just go fucking ecstatic.
Yeah.
I mean, have you guys seen the video that I don't remember what branch of the government released it?
UFO.
I mean, the
TikTok area.
CIA literally said, I think it was the Pentagon. Is that the Pentagon or the CIA? They were literally like, hey, here's UFO, like confirmed UFOs. We don't know what the fuck these are.
I mean,
we
to
don't
be
know how
fair,
they work.
A UFO is just an unidentified flying object.
But literally,
it could
it's
be an alien.
moving. It's
Yeah.
moving in impossible ways.
If
Like,
the
have you seen the
CIA
story? It's like a
doesn't-
bean-shaped
Yeah,
object
the
that,
TikTok.
like, it goes directly vertically up and then it goes directly horizontal. Like, nothing can do that we know of.
I mean, have you seen the video of the TikTok alien though? That
Yeah.
thing, like, it spins around all weird.
Like
it's
we
super
have, like
interesting.
we even have, like, I think this was part of it, but like we literally have confirmation from like fucking pilots who are like, yeah, we saw these things. We don't know how the fuck they're moving. They look like giant Tic Tac. They would move straight, directly, vertically. Then they'd move directly to the right.
I really
So-
wish we get alien contact like in my lifetime.
So I have a relative who did air traffic control for a long
Yeah.
time, and he was probably the most serious person I've ever met. And I went to him one day and I was like, "Hey, do you believe in aliens?" And he's like, "Yeah, don't ask me again."
Yeah.
And then left it at that.
I don't know, because I remember seeing this thing too. It's like, I don't know if this one's bullshit, but like it's called like the Black Knight satellite. I mean, we all know like Disney.
we
froze his
gotta
head,
we gotta
right?
pivot
Like,
because I love conspiracy theories.
conspiracy theory.
You
Yeah.
have to be careful about conspiracy theories though, because some of them get white supremacy.
Yeah, some of them get
Yeah.
white supremacist
Like the
really quickly.
hyperbole.
So okay, so this
shit.
one, it's called the Black Knight. It's like pretty much there's been this fucking object in space for 13,000 years. No one knows what the fuck it is. NASA doesn't know what the fuck it is. They won't go fucking look at it.
Just me hanging out.
Yeah, it's just me.
Just me hanging out.
It's a Dementor from Harry Potter.
So okay, so the conspiracy theories that I unironically so JFK got killed by the CIA.
His head just did that. That's the conspiracy theory.
JFK. Well, we pretty much know at this point that the CIA did it.
No, his head
the
just did
CIA
that.
killed JFK.
He had
what
a
other
Suicide
ones
Squad
do I
type
believe?
chip on that head.
So the other one is that we went to the moon. So we went to the moon. I'm not going to be like,
We didn't go to the moon, yeah.
Okay, so my favorite thing about the moon landing one is that everybody's like, oh, the moon landing's fake. So what about the other like 6 of them that we did? There were like 17 Apollo missions. Are you going to tell me that the rest of them were fake too?
Yeah, same studio.
Yeah, same studio lot. I don't know. Moon rover. Lunar rover is just like one of the funniest things to me because I feel like no one fucking talks about it. Like the pictures go raw.
What is that?
The lunar rover?
Yeah.
You don't know what the fucking lunar rover is? Hold
No,
on.
I don't. Is it
lunar
actual or is it like a conspiracy?
It's like a real thing. Like,
Oh.
like they fucking sent a car up to the fucking moon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen that before.
Yeah,
I don't know
like-
what the conspiracy theory is though.
So like it's just people don't usually like talk. People just talked about the Apollo 11 one being fake, but that's like Apollo 17, I think, was
Yeah.
the lunar rover. But like, yeah, we just sent a fucking car up to the moon. I just think it's funny. But so the conspiracy theory
Put the
is
whip on
that
the moon.
the conspiracy theory is that we went to the moon to get something,
And that's why we haven't.
and that's why we haven't gone back yet, and that's also why the Russians gave up trying to go to the moon after we went up enough times. Like we were trying to get something off of the moon. Also, the
my
only
favorite
thing that
one-
will confirm that we actually went to the moon is the plaque that they put on the moon after Apollo 11.
Yeah,
Only thing that will actually confirm that we went up to the moon.
because it aside from like very high power telescopes that
Yep.
could
No
like,
one can look at the surface of the moon. So the only thing that will confirm that we went up to the moon is
It's
if
a
the next
plate.
people to go up take a picture and send a picture of the plate that they left during Apollo 11.
Well, no,
Guessbook.
because like unless there's another plate already, like there's centers that shine a laser specifically to the plate,
Yeah.
and come back, because like you get different rates of reflection, because like you get like regular reflection like from the moon, and then
Yeah.
like super high reflection from the plate.
Allegedly, the flag that they put up there is white now because of the
Radiation,
radiation.
Yeah, I'm
No.
trying to think of the other. ones
My
that I
favorite
actually, so
one.
it's like the one I believe is
my favorite one is that the moon is not a natural satellite.
it's made of cheese.
No, it's like a general like dormant space
Sponge.
station or something.
Yeah.
Because like the size of the moon as a satellite and like that the orbit of around Earth doesn't really make that much sense.
I mean, I think the origin of the moon is that a big ass fucking like small planetoid crashed into the Earth, and then it bounced back out, and then it got caught in gravity.
This is known, but I love the conspiracy theory that the moon is actually like a space station, like the moon's hollow or some shit like that.
It's made of
I'm
cheese.
trying to think of the other ones that I believe. So it's like the one I believe the JFK one. I believe there's more going on with the moon stuff than they like to tell us, but I don't know what particularly
Aliens
that would
are
be.
real. They're living
The
among
moon
us.
one's really interesting because something that a lot of people don't know about the moon is the rocks are very, very sharp on the moon.
Yeah.
So those videos of the
Well, yeah, because there's nothing to weather them
exactly.
down. Yeah.
So the videos of the astronauts like goofily falling around were actually really stressed out the command station because like they could cut into the suits and stuff.
I think we are very close to getting to the first. So technically, no one's actually died in space.
Or I'll be the first.
Everybody's died within the atmosphere.
No
but
humans.
with like no human has died in space. No human has died in space.
So you're saying there's a record I could set?
We are getting dangerously close to that with fucking Elon Musk and fucking Jeff Bezos. Like NASA is pretty on top of that shit. With obviously like disasters happen. But like NASA for the most part's pretty on top of making sure that no one fucking dies in space.
Yeah, there's I
feel like Elon's gonna like send some fucking third world country people up there to like test like the rocket, and they're not coming back down. They're not.
That's
coming
something
back
I
down.
genuinely worry about too. Is that the regulations, like it's not going to be regulated, and I understand regulations can be like suffocating sometimes, but they're there for a reason. There needs to be like space.
I'm not gonna lie.
We are getting
If
so
like
close to people dying in the vacuum of
I
space.
I am not gonna lie. If like a Mars pioneering program like opens up, I am like signing up.
You're going?
You're going to Mars?
No fucking.
I'm not going to Mars.
I would
Fuck
never do that.
I would never do that.
Absolutely
I don't
not.
trust Elon Musk to go to Mars. I don't trust Elon Musk. I don't see how people can look at how Elon Musk is running Twitter and go, that man is going to send me to
He
Mars.
could send his own ass to Mars.
I don't care
honestly.
who does it. If someone goes and says, "Okay, we're looking for volunteers to like
Fuck that. I'm not dying on Mars.
like,
Absolutely not. That's
I'll
like dying in
create
Arizona.
generational wealth for my family in Mars."
You'd be down to go to Mars?
What
What if you can't come back? If they said one-way ticket to Mars, would you take it? You can't come
Yes.
back, but you
Yes.
don't know if you're even gonna get there.
Yes, I'm thinking like this in like an Oregon Trail kind of mindset.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but also
Just trying to
I have too much.
colonize
I have
Mars.
too much self dignity to die in space. I don't know.
I would fucking love dying in space.
I feel like it'd be kind of
It's-
based
it's
to be like
kinda
a first
based.
person.
Like,
Yeah.
like that. Oh, what did your dad? How did your son die? Oh, he was one of the pioneers from Mars.
Oh, he blew up on the
Yeah.
ship. It was really pathetic how
I'm
the
trying to
ship blew
think.
up.
But yeah, so like one of the things that scares me though is it's just like they had like a whole script ready in case like they couldn't get the eagle back off of the moon.
Oh my god, that's
They had
terrifying.
a script ready for Nixon to read if they couldn't get them off.
That is actually terrifying to think of.
Like, did they give them a gun? Like, did they give them like a gun or like a cyanide pill to fucking kill themselves on the moon
I'm
if they
pretty sure
couldn't
they
get
give
them
them.
off?
It's
They give them something.
When you said
like-
did they give him a gun, I thought you were implying like there's something on the moon they gotta kill.
I mean that too, but like, did they give them like some way of killing themselves if they got stuck on the moon?
I mean, if you
like,
get-
do you think they did that?
Moon rock to the suit. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah, but then you're gonna like boil alive. You're
That's
gonna
true.
boil
Freeze.
alive.
No, you freeze.
Yeah, you freeze and then
You
your blood
flash
boils.
freeze.
You flash, yeah. But still, that sounds terrible. Like,
So, like,
you
if you had to die
long
in
as you
space, what would
as
you-
long as you keep breathing, like you're
Yeah.
fine because it's a pressure difference that
Yeah.
that loads you.
So if you had to die in space, what method would you want to go through? I feel like it'd be really interesting to launch myself into a black hole, but at the same time, I would never want to do that.
yeah, I feel like you'd go insane.
Well, like apparently you get spaghettified, where
Yeah,
they
you get
stretch
apparently-
out.
You get spaghettified, but at that point, like time like stops working correctly. So like, what if you're just like suffering, like feeling yourself get like
Eternity,
spaghettified
yeah.
for like fucking eternity? Like, okay,
No,
so like
no,
to like an onlooker, you get spaghettified in like half a
But-
second.
but time's
to
going-
you, like you are getting spaghettified over like the course of like
You-
500
What if I
years.
become a
Let me tell
god
you
of the
the-
new
I don't
universe?
think you would feel it because, like, yeah, time is slowing down for you, but that also means that the fucking neural reactions and pain receptors don't fire as fast.
But you're still gonna feel yourself getting spaghettified.
Yeah, but
I mean, yeah, it would be over the course of like hundreds of years to you.
yeah,
like-
just think about it. It's just that it would be like pain going up slowly.
I
And
wouldn't fuck with that.
You could make the argument
I wouldn't
that
fuck with
that
that.
it would be like you know how the frogs like stay in the boiling pot of water if you
Yeah.
like heat it up slowly.
Yeah.
I would think it'd be like that.
So would you be willing to get launched into a black hole, Victor?
Oh fuck yeah!
You'd be so down for
my
it.
God.
We got a
I'm
test
like I
experiment
am
here.
so down for being a test subject in anything like space related.
Have you ever seen the stuff about like people in comas where it's like they live like an entire lifetime in the coma and then they
I-
wake back up?
I have direct experience with this. I was in a coma in
would,
2020.
Ugh.
I was
Fed.
no, I'm
Fed.
serious. I was in a coma in 2020 in September, and I was only in a coma for 4 days, so it barely counted as
Yeah.
a coma. It was like a long nap, but so I've passed out before, right? When I pass out, I wake up and I feel like, oh, I just took like a 2-hour nap, you
Yeah.
know? When I woke up from the coma, I was like, oh my god, I'm going through actual, like, it was so hard. I spent the 4 days completely unconscious, and the 5th day,
4 days zonked.
the 4 days zonked out, you know? Like, I was honk shoeing. The 5th day, I was in and out of consciousness. Like, it was awful. I felt like I was being, like, tugged.
Yeah.
But no, that coma was really wild.
It sounds really bad, but I've
Yeah.
always want to experience like
He's
actual
always wanted to be in a coma.
He's always wanted to be in a coma.
actual loss of consciousness and just like skip forward.
Yeah.
It sounds
That's
bad.
kinda-
Did you like dream in the coma?
No,
or, like,
so what happened is I could hear and like I could hear everything going on around me the whole
Yeah.
time, but it felt like really dreamy, if that makes sense. So it felt like I was in a white room the whole time,
Yeah.
and I could just hear all the doctors and like my family talking in the room.
That's what I'm saying. I really want to like. It's like some Joe Rogan type shit, but I really want to experience like that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
It was really
I
weird,
don't-
and also I heard like my dead relatives talking to me, if
that's
that
weird.
makes sense.
They were
I don't know.
dying.
The coma stuff though, where it's like on Reddit, where it's just like I lived like an entire life in the coma. Like I was
Yeah.
married and had kids in the coma.
I
I'm
didn't-
like I feel like that would be so like unnerving to get out of.
I
Talking
didn't
about
live an
that-
entire life in it. I definitely like. It felt like it was way longer than it was. It felt
Yeah.
like it was just like really, really long.
Talking about
So
stuff like that. You don't want to be super down for.
being in a coma.
No, you know that one Rick and Morty episode where they play this like video game
Yeah.
called Roy.
You'd be down for that?
I didn't watch Rick and Morty.
I don't think I would do that.
I would love to play Roy.
It's basically like a video game where you think you're actually the guy.
You live like
I'm
an
the guy.
entire lifetime.
Spy Kids, I'm the
live
guy.
an entire lifetime as this guy like called Roy. So you choose like whatever like the fuck Roy does, right? And
Yeah.
it happens in like 5 seconds, like in the real world. But you live like as many years as you can live as Roy.
Yeah.
And so apparently there's like a score system depending on what you do. They never really explain it. But so Morty lives this like really like boring life, and he dies because like he takes a tumble when he's really old. And then what Riggs do? Riggs just like gets to like 18-year-old Roy, and then like burns his social security number and all his money, and just starts like committing crimes and shit.
Yeah.
I would love to do that shit.
You'd love to just live an entire lifetime.
Yeah.
In
Live an
a,
entire
I think
lifetime
it would
an
make
hour.
me way wiser. No, but then they also like bullshit it. That's like Morty kind of like starts forgetting like all the Roy stuff and stuff in his mind. I think it would be so trippy though.
I feel like that would kind of be like being in a coma, but
Yeah, you need to come for 3 seconds and live an entire lifetime.
We've been looking at this lunar rover picture just kind of up on the TV screen in
Speaking
front of
to
us.
me.
That is a liminal space right there.
no, that actually
That is a
like
liminal
this
space,
picture right
yeah.
here. Why
Like
is
that.
the moon in the background?
It's a replica.
It's a render.
Okay.
It's a
I was
render.
really
a
confused
render.
there for a second. Can you imagine yourself being there, being in a coma on the moon, living a whole lifetime on the
Yeah,
moon? You-
coma on the moon.
yeah.
I want to try. I really want VR to get to the point, like.
I want SAOBR. We are late. We gotta catch
Well,
up.
there was the guy who made a fucking Oculus headset that blows up if you die in a game.
Yeah, but
Wait, that's real?
Yeah,
yes,
that
but
was-
it's
that was
like a
real-
joke. It's a joke.
It's a joke, but like the guy actually did make a proof of concept. It has a fucking like
Like a reverse bear
it
trap.
has an explosive. It has an explosive, and when you die, like if the screen flashes like a specific sequence, the explosive detonates
the
and
thing is
kills
that
you.
we don't. What I really want to, it's like BR as it is, it's already there-ish. What we need is the whole other like immersive technology. That's what we're missing.
Are
The metaverse.
No, the metaverse sucks. Cause like we.
The metaverse is literally just worse VR chat.
Are the
Yes,
dancing
yes.
anime girls not enough
Yeah,
for you? That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
Is it-
I think we need the whole like immersive like technology. It just like kind of like without an implant, just like goes into your cuckoo brain and just like makes you like feel.
Well, Elon
see,
Musk
and smell
microchipped
everything.
monkeys and then they
I'm
died.
not.
They
this-
leave too
That's a
much.
real thing. Like he microchipped monkeys and,
and
they
people
fucking
are willing
died.
to let him
Yeah,
microchip
Yeah,
them.
people are willing to let him fucking come all over their face.
Things I would fucks with is like some kind of like immersion technology that doesn't require an implant. As soon as you tell me that I need to get an implant, I'm not fucking with that.
Well, I think we had a pretty good episode
Yeah, we
today.
did, we
Addy,
did.
did you have fun on the podcast?
It's pretty fun. I feel like there's a
I'm
lot of
gonna have to go take a
autistic
piss. You can
tangents.
close out without me.
All right, you got it,
Yeah.
man. Well, we're. Oh, he's not.
He's gone.
He's not there.
Where'd he go?
Well, I'll see you next week on Momscast. I'll need a new host.
Guys, guys. Fuck.